Has passed the Iowa legislature that could help the people who take care of children afford care for their own. Governor Kim Reynolds signed that bill this afternoon at a child care facility in Slater, Iowa. She says it will offer child care workers with kids a reliable, affordable option to stay on the job while also helping child care centers recruit and retain staff members. According to the governor, doing that will help those centers expand and serve more families across the state. That child care assistance bill is allowing Siouxland providers to focus more on early learning and less on making ends meet.
KTIV's Jacqueline Aragon spoke to an official at a local child care center about how this bill addresses Iowa child care needs.
We're not babysitters. It's about brain development, and that's actually what we're worried about.
And kids at the Cretenton Center are turning 1s and 2s into 3s and saying their ABCs, thanks to a new child care assistance bill. HF 2514 provides child care assistance for child care workers who are on the clock 32 hours a week at a licensed facility.
That provides support to our workers that are here. One, making sure that we can provide a livable wage, and two, it supports the center, so the center is able to not pass on extra cost to families.
The bill is an extension of the Iowa Child Care Assistance Program, and that pilot kicked off in 2023. And Fuentes says 10% of the early childhood educators are already utilizing the CCA pilot project.
When we saw the return on that, it was phenomenal. Because we were wanting to provide childcare for free anyways, but how do you do that with no income for it and that kind of thing? So it really did help us do what our goal was in the beginning, is to not make it a cost, carry those costs over to our staff.
Fuentes says childcare assistance is not a given, but this bill helps make it a priority.
That wasn't the case before, and so oftentimes it was low-income employees also serving low-income working families, and so together this is able to, one, keep child care accessible to everyone, but also be able to pay the child care staff a wage that is livable.
Keeping kids from falling through the cracks and the smiles on their face. In Sioux City, Jacqueline Aragon, KTIV News 4.
The total cost of this program statewide is expected to be more than $11 million, a little less than half of which will be funded by the federal government.